Hello my lovelies, welcome back to my channel. So as you can see from the title of the video, today I already know the answer to this. I'm basically going to go side by side with high-end luxury brand items, drugstore affordable items, because I feel like a lot of people out there feel that just because it costs more money it's better quality, and that's not always the case. So that's what we're going to do. And the only reason I thought about this video is because lately I've been trying some products that are more affordable or from the drugstore, and they've just been wowing me and making me think of the higher end price product that I paid more money for, and it performs almost identical to that. So that's how that idea came about, and that's why we're here today. If you are new here, hi, welcome. I hope you choose to stay for a while and click the subscribe button. And if you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you more than you know. Without further ado, let's get started with this video. Okay, so I'm not gonna put my hair back, being a little lazy, apologies. And also, I did already go in with primers. I don't have any primers that I wanted to put side by side. I feel like not everybody enjoys or uses primers, but I used the Rhode Glazing Milk for the whole entire face. The Ordinary has a very similar product, the Milky Toner, and it's half the price. Not exactly the same, but I feel it gives you a very similar, if not close to identical result. I did go into my Gucci matte primer. I don't have exact comparisons to that, but e.l.f. has some really good mattifying primers. I also feel Maybelline has some really good mattifying primers. And then I did go into this Eaze correcting serum. This is pretty new to my collection, but I have tried some really nice and beautiful serums from Wet n Wild. All right, so foundation, that is the first step in my makeup routine, and these are the two products I'm going to put side by side. So the Maybelline Lifter Stick, this is a multi-stick. You can use this foundation, you can use this as foundation, concealer, bronzer, if you want to lighten up a few areas. I'm going to use it as foundation today, and the Dior Matte Foundation Stick. This is 2.5N. The Maybelline is shade 40, a little bit, tiny pinch darker. Could have gone down to shade 35, but it's fine. We'll be okay. This finish is not going to be exactly the same as this, but I do enjoy both of the results from both of these. And honestly, on the face, I can't tell that this one is drugstore and this one is high-end. They just both perform absolutely beautiful, and it's not going to be a super identical result or comparison. I'm basically just trying to prove the point that you can get pretty close to similar results with drugstore or affordable products. Paying more doesn't always mean you're getting a better quality product. I feel like maybe 25-30 years ago that would be the case, but I feel like drugstore has just been killing it with all of their launches, and it's very hard these days to find a dud for any makeup, really. It's just, makeup has come such a long way, and as you can tell, this was just a tiny bit darker, but it's fine. It should work out just fine. I did use the Sonia Jumbo Base for this side, and I'm going to use the Sigma and Brianna Fox 4 for this side. This is no longer available, the brush, but if you just have like your round kabuki brush, it should work the same. Okay, so here is what both sides look like, and I feel that other than maybe the tone being a tiny bit off on this side, you can't really tell that I have two different foundations, one being luxury $50+ and the other being drugstore. Yeah, they both look pretty close to the same on my skin. Okay, so concealers, I brought out this L'Oreal True Match Radiant Serum Concealer and the By Terry Hyaluronic Serum Concealer. I haven't tried a ton of drugstore concealers, but I have tried a few, and the ones that I have are very, very beautiful. Now these are pretty different in tone, so hopefully we'll be all right. But this one is shade number 6. The one thing with By Terry is I feel like they do need to work on their shade range, especially when it comes to base products. But this is actually my number 1 concealer right now, the By Terry. It is just so absolutely stunning. I'm going to use this Chart concealer brush. I don't put a lot of concealer. I don't feel like I need too much. And I got a comment saying that I wipe away my concealer when I wash my face. A ton of product goes down the sink. So I don't agree that I just wipe away my concealer. Just because I don't tap it in like this, it doesn't mean that I'm wiping it away. Oh, I love this concealer. Okay, now we're gonna jump into this L'Oreal. The Maybelline, is it the Maybelline? The one in the white. It's like a square packaging. That one is also really good. I believe Angelica Nicholas has raved about the one I'm thinking about. This one, it reminds me of, is it the YSL? No, not the YSL. Crap, I don't remember. But the doe foot is pretty interesting, and I feel they were trying to not mimic, but got inspiration from a higher end concealer. Okay, I'm going to use the N14 from BK and Nikki. And this serum concealer from L'Oreal is also so good. It literally sinks right into my skin. It looks so skin-like, very similar to the By Terry. Not exactly the same finish, but pretty close. Okay, W4 is the shade for the L'Oreal, and I feel like both under eyes are looking very pretty. You could just tell maybe the slightest bit that this one is a tiny bit darker than this one, but other than that, can't tell. Okay, cream bronzer. Now, technically, this CoverGirl True Blend Skin Enhancer is a contour balm, but the tone that I got, which is the second darkest shade, so there was one more after this that's darker, Snatched, I feel leans a little bit more of a neutral. Like it's more of a bronzer than an actual contour. I feel like this is not really cool toned for my skin tone. A lot of tones in there. And then the Dior contour slash bronzing stick, because 2 of the shades were contours and 2 of the shades were more bronzer tones since they had more warmth in them. I have shade 0210, which is a tiny bit more of a bronzing tone. Not a very exact formula comparison, but I feel the results are very similar. So we'll start with a Dior on this side. And I don't have a cream drugstore contour, I don't think. I can't remember of one, and I'm kind of in a little bit of a time crunch. For the Dior, you do have to work a tiny bit quick because it does dry down fairly quickly. I have been wanting shade 01 because it's definitely more of a contouring shade, but honestly I don't need it, so I am resisting. And this is the sheer buffer from Sonia G. Beautiful. Okay, now for this side, I'm gonna jump into the CoverGirl. So shade 01 and shade 02 definitely have a little bit more coolness to them, so those I can definitely use as a contour shade. This one, I feel it's more of a bronzer, but still warm enough for me to be able to use as a bronzer. And this is the N15 from BK and Nikki. And the CoverGirl, the base of the formula is a tiny bit on the sheer side. So that's what I mean by not the exact same formula comparison. So I do have to add a tiny bit more of this formula for that reason. It is a very, very beautiful one. Okay, so that's what the bronzers look like. Both very, very pretty. Just like I said, this one, it's a tiny bit more sheer in the base. Okay, for cream blushes, now this isn't exactly like high-end versus drugstore. Westman Atelier, who is a pretty up there in price brand, against Milk Makeup, which Milk Makeup is a little bit more of an affordable brand at Sephora. I do really love the Westman Atelier makeup products. There's so many that I enjoy so much. This is in Bichette, and it is a beautiful warm tone, like rosy, almost a tiny bit terracotta. This is the 112 from BK. Now, I believe the original size for these are $50 something, you know, in the $50 range, I think. So definitely expensive. And this mini one, I believe, is like $25. It might have gone up in price with inflation. Now, Milk Makeup has minis like this. They don't have the bigger ones that they used to sell. I still feel Milk Makeup is a more affordable brand at Sephora than Westman Atelier. Well, it's not that I think it's that for sure. It is. And you do get pretty close to similar finish and result than a, you know, super luxurious or high-end brand. This is the Tone Quirk, which is very similar to the one that we applied on this side. And I do love this formula for Milk Makeup. I'm just going to use the same brush. Why not? I'm just trying to prove that more expensive doesn't always mean better, you know? Okay, so this is what we're looking like, and I feel like everything is looking so good and pretty close to identical, right? Okay, so I did powder my under eyes already with the What's a Beauty powder for both sides. There's not too many drugstore powders out there that I enjoy personally for my under eyes. I think the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop is the only one that I've been able to use on my under eyes that I have personally tried. So if you have one, let me know down below. Okay, but for the rest of the face, we're gonna put this e.l.f. and Charlotte Tilbury side by side. So this is the Halo Glow Powder Filter Pressed Powder. I purchased the shade Fair Neutral Cool. It's a little light, but I use it very lightly so it doesn't alter the tone of my foundation. This is a very, very beautiful filter-like soft powder. Definitely keeps my oils in. Like, I'm pretty impressed with this powder, and I don't know if you can tell, I have definitely used this. I'm gonna use the BK, just kidding, this V127 powder brush. So I dip my brush in, and then I just tap the excess off, and I powder very lightly. Okay, do you see how soft my skin looks? That, I'm telling you, this e.l.f. powder is so good. I am gonna jump into this one. Now, the Charlotte Tilbury, I feel like it's so many people's favorite, has been so many years. So many people have gone through so many pans. I haven't been one of them because for me, I feel like it's more of a finishing powder. Now, I have used it in the past to set my whole face. I just have to be selective as to what foundation I'm using. Since this is the Dior foundation stick, it does keep my oils at bay pretty well, so I think the Charlotte powder should be fine. But it is a pretty soft and blurring kind of powder, and I do feel it's pretty comparable to the e.l.f. Now, do you see how beautiful my skin looks? And I also do feel like the Charlotte does have a tiny bit of tint to the powder. Okay, now we're gonna jump into powder bronzer. And I 100% own so many more luxury, high-end, popular brand bronzers than I do drugstore bronzers. This NYX Buttermelt bronzer is pretty good. Now, even though it is way too pigmented and I do have to tread very softly, even though the tone I got I feel is on the lighter side, it's a very beautiful formula. And I'm going to use this new Laura Mercier bronze color infusion in 20 Marcel. Both of these are a tiny bit glowy, and I feel like there's definitely really good bronzers out there that are affordable, and you don't need to pay like $40-something for a really good bronzer. Okay, so we're gonna start with this side, and I'm gonna use this TF2 from Sonia G. I have been loving this Laura Mercier bronzer. I am pretty stoked that I picked it up. I've been wanting to own a bronzer from Laura Mercier, and I'm glad that they launched this because it's such a beautiful formula. So this one is a duo, and it has a matte formula and a glowy formula in it. You can definitely use them separately, but honestly, the result is just so much more beautiful when you use them together. And I do feel like this tone works for my skin tone. I thought it might be too light, but no, I feel it works well. Okay, and I'm gonna use this Sonia G soft buffer for the NYX, but I'm gonna tread very softly. It's like I said, it's very pigmented. I am gonna tap it. And the shade I have for NYX is BMB03 in Deserve Butter. So these are really, really pretty. The formula is beautiful. I just wish they weren't so pigmented because I have to tread so softly, and I think this is like the second, maybe the third lightest shade. But do you see how pretty that is? It's very soft, a very soft kind of formula. Leaves your skin looking airbrushed. That's what the bronzers look like. Absolutely beautiful. Now, when it comes to eyeshadow palettes, I don't test out too many drugstore eyeshadow formulas, but I did buy one for this specific video, and it's from Hard Candy. This is the monochrome shadows, and I believe Bear is the color story. And for this side, we're gonna use this Charlotte Tilbury. Hopefully I can make the eye looks look pretty similar to each other, but I have used this twice, and it's actually pretty good for the price, because I think it was like $3.89 or something, less than $4. I think you can definitely achieve a very similar look to a higher end brand eyeshadow palette. So let me get started. Okay, I do have the MAC Paint Pot and Soft Ochre, and we'll start with this shade here, Fluffy Alamore Cosmetics. MY27 from Dennis and Mike & Co. And I'm gonna jump into that dark brown. I didn't even film you, but I did jump into the lightest matte from the Hard Candy for this side. I totally forgot to film that. Apologies. I forgot I'm doing both eyes. It's just different palettes. Okay, didn't forget this time. Darkest brown from the Hard Candy, Wayne Goss 8 brush. This one's not as dark as the other side, but it's fine. All right, I'm gonna jump into this one. It's the one that I feel looks the closest to the one in the Hard Candy. I did put on NYX glitter glue. Okay, now I'm gonna jump into the shimmery. Definitely not as shimmery as the Charlotte, but I feel like you get a pretty similar vibe, right? Okay, for both eye looks, I'm just gonna jump into the lightest shade in the Hard Candy. It's not a matte, it's like a metallic kind of shade. So I'm just gonna add it to both. This is B3 from Blim Bunny. I'm probably going to do my eyebrows and mascara off camera. I don't have any comparisons for those. I feel like when it comes to eyebrows, there's so many amazing drugstore brow products out there. Pencils, I feel definitely you can't go wrong whether it's high-end or drugstore. You can find a very good one either. For eyebrow gel, I feel like that's the only area where I am a little more picky, and typically or usually go for the more well-known higher end brand or affordable brand at Sephora. The Makeup by Mario brow gel is really good. Patrick Ta, Anastasia, the Got To Be brow gel, which is, I guess, considered a drugstore product. That one's really good. The new Maybelline that I tried, the Something Lived, that one is also surprisingly really good. So I feel like you can go either or when it comes to eyebrows. Okay, so I went into the Charlotte Tilbury brow pencil and the Got To Be brow gel. So half luxury, half drugstore. Now we're gonna jump into, and the Haus Labs mascara. Now I have tried not as many as I wish I had drugstore mascaras. I think the last one I tried from the drugstore was an e.l.f. mascara. I might have to purchase a drugstore one so I can try it out. Let me know down below. I do feel like Maybelline is huge when it comes to mascaras, and a lot of people having favorites from them. Now we're gonna talk about highlighter. I don't have too many drugstore highlighters. It's one of the products that I purchase the least of, but LYS is a very affordable brand at Sephora, and this is a very beautiful highlighter. I don't use it too often because it can get pretty glowy. It's definitely a more out there highlighter than what I typically wear. Yeah, I already have to. It is a very pretty one. NYX just came out with some highlighters from their Buttermelt line, and they actually look very beautiful. They look also very big. So yeah, highlighter is one of those things that I try not to purchase often from. Okay, and I'm gonna jump into this Dior, which is 01 Nude Glow. It's a beautiful one. I think Dior might be one of my top favorite luxury brand highlighters. There's so many beautiful ones, honestly. Oh, I just did the affordable on the luxury side. Okay, so for the highlighters, I did the affordable highlighter on the luxury side, and I did the luxury Dior highlighter on the affordable drugstore side. That was not on purpose, and this is the Mini Cheek from Sonia G. Can't tell too much of a difference, right? Okay, when it comes to lip products, I don't own too many drugstore lip products. Lip liners, I have a couple, but not too many. I feel NYX is always at the top of the list. Milani, Hard Candy did just come out with those lip liners. I own one of the lipsticks that has been compared to the Road Skin. That is beautiful. I feel like you can definitely buy both drugstore and high-end luxury lip products that are equally as good, and it doesn't matter the price range that you pay. I don't have super close comparable items, so I'm just gonna go ahead and use a luxury brand lip liner and a drugstore lip product. Yeah, so that's what we're gonna do today. I'm gonna jump into the Charlotte Tilbury Iconic Nude Lip Liner. This is a cult favorite for sure. I feel like the longevity is absolutely beautiful. She has all kinds of tones. Yeah, it's a good lip liner. I don't know about longevity, but I think a good alternative would be the Milani. NYX too, but I feel like the longevity for the NYX is not as good as the Charlotte Tilbury. Let me know of any affordable lip liners that you know that last as well as the Charlotte Tilbury. I think Maybelline came out with some lip liners recently, and a lot of people are enjoying those. Okay, the Maybelline Super Stay Teddy Tint. This formula is so good, and I do mean so good. Now, I feel like I can get a little sticky if, by the way, this is current mood. If you put too much or layer it too much, it's a very soft, almost clay-like consistency, moussey. Think of the Odin's Eye ones, like kind of like that. I'm trying to think of any other ones that are similar to this that I have personally tried. They do leave a slight tint, so they do last quite a bit. It's a really, really beautiful formula. I want all the shades, but I don't need them. There's just so many great drugstore lip products. I just don't own too many of them, but this one for sure is an absolute favorite and one that I will be repurchasing. All right, let me go ahead and assess the situation because I think that's everything, and I'll be right back. Okay, makeup is done. Now, when it comes to setting spray, I think it's another product that you can definitely find a drugstore, not dupe, but pretty close to being a dupe that is similar to a high-end product. Okay, oh, I love this lip combo. It is so, I'm telling you, those teddy tints. Okay, but here it is. Here is a side-by-side with affordable drugstore and high-end luxury makeup products. And I feel like my face looks like I don't have different products on each side. Let me know what you think. I think the eyes look pretty close. Yeah, maybe just a tiny bit more sparkle on the Charlotte, but if I were to go out in public, I don't think you'd be able to tell. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this video. Paying more money doesn't always mean that you're going to get the very best. I feel like the makeup industry, the makeup products, the brands themselves have grown so much. Formulas, products, everything, that it is very easily to quote unquote dupe high-end luxury brands with more affordable drugstore products. So don't feel bad if you're somebody who just prefers drugstore. It's perfectly okay. A lot of people out there are really struggling, and it's perfectly okay if you're buying mostly, or if not all, drugstore, because if you look at this side, they've been killing it lately. All right, my lovelies, thank you so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed the video. The only point of this video is just to show that you can achieve a very similar makeup look with drugstore and affordable brands than you can with luxury high-end brands. That's it. That is the only point I wanted to bring across with this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I would love to know what are some of your, whether it is luxury or affordable drugstore makeup products out there. I would love suggestions on what drugstore mascaras to try. But yeah, okay, again, thank you so much for being here. I love and appreciate every single one of you. You have no idea all the comments, all the likes. If you use my links to shop, it truly all does mean the world to me. With that being said, do not forget to give the video a big thumbs up. And also don't forget to click the subscribe button if you haven't already. And I will see you all on my next video. Bye.